Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Elden Ring, and in this one I want to put together a quick guide on what to do with your Great Runes. Great Runes are of course something that you will obtain when you defeat some of the major story bosses, and a lot of you may well be walking around with these in your bag wondering what exactly you're supposed to do with them. So in this video I quickly want to go through what that is using the first rune you get, Godrick's Great Rune. Of course, if you guys would benefit from further guides on the other runes, do let me know in the comments down below. But for the purpose of this, I want to show you how to activate it and what they're used for. So if you guys do enjoy this, if you find it helpful, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions, and of course keep it locked for plenty more Elden Ring. So again, as mentioned, once you defeat the bosses, you often get their Great Runes. Of course, this is provided they are the major bosses. You can see that Godrick's Great Rune here, for example, says to seek the Divine Tower of Limgrave, which stands beyond the Great Bridge of Stormvale Castle. You guys will probably also be familiar with these items you'll obtain throughout the game, the Rune Arcs. These are of course a shard of the Shattered Elden Ring. They grant the blessing of an equipped Great Rune upon use. But in order to do that, you need to go and charge said rune. So for the purposes of Godrick's one, what you want to do is turn your attention to this location right now. You can go over to the Rampart. There are of course different ways you can get there, but we're going to be going from the Rampart Tower. And from there, what you then want to do is you want to turn around and go back and drop down the lift. You then want to run through the creepy room here, of course, where you would have fought the guy with the multiple arms, and you want to take a left. And of course, once you go through there, you can go out into the courtyard. From there, you then want to turn it right, and you basically want to go and run down the hill. Now, of course, again, you could have just gone from the entrance to Stormvale Castle, but that involves going past a lot of the ballistas, so this route is pretty straightforward. You go through the gateway, you take a left, you of course then go up the stairs into that castle area, avoiding the lion with, of course, the blades in its arms, and you then run into this area in the back, which looks pretty awesome, and of course, depending on how much exploration you've done, you might not even have been here. You can, of course, grab the purple collectible item, then you simply want to run all the way down this very long pathway, avoiding all the stone giants, and there will be a teleporter at the end. When you take this teleporter, it will then take you over to the Divine Tower of Limgrave, and you can then open the door and take the lift up and work your way to the very top. Now this one of course is very simple because it's a pretty sort of straightforward way. It's like an introduction to the runes. Some of the later ones are a little bit more involved, so again, if you guys want guides on those, do let me know in the comments down below. But for this one, you simply walk over and you interact, and you will then restore the power of the Great Rune. Upon doing this, you will then of course now see you have Godrick's Great Rune in the restored state, and if you then go and use a Rune Arc, of course one of those collectible items you would have found, it will then activate the currently equipped Great Rune, and in the case of Godrick's one, this raises all your attributes. It is however worth noting, once you have activated a rune, you do first need to equip it. So you can go to a Site of Grace and you can do that from there. Otherwise, of course, using the Rune Arc will do little more than just increase your HP. It's also worth noting, once you have activated a rune, the buffs will last until you die, so if you want to benefit from it and say after a failed boss fight, you will need to activate the Rune Arc again. And again, it's worth noting that you will collect these as you go throughout the world. You'll find Rune Arcs sometimes on corpses, some merchants will sell limited quantities, sometimes you get those rewards with co-op. Various different locations, you will probably have a bunch in your bag already, but just do keep that in mind. But for the time being, let's quickly run down on Rune Arcs, how to activate Godrick's Rune, how they sort of work initially, and again, if you guys do want guides on some of the other Great Runes, do by all means let us know in the comments down below. But for the time being, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out this video if you haven't seen our latest Elden Ring upload, and stay tuned for plenty more.